Hi, my name's Kevin Hicks. Welcome to the History Squad. Now today's video is shooting on location where I like to shoot down in the sandpit here. We're going to have a look at the longbow, the anatomy of the longbow and the arrows, if you like. What made it so famous in the 100 Years' War, for instance, and also the Wars of the Roses. What made the longbow, the English and the Welsh longbow, so great? Well, first of all, it wasn't just the weapon. Yeah, the weapon is a tool in the hands of a professional. But if you have a look at these, I've been shooting this for a little while and I've found that the string has come down. So the old fist melt. How's it going, mate? And I'm English, not Australian. So, when I started shooting this morning, my bowstring rested perfectly on there. But I've shot a few dozen arrows now and the string has come down. So what I've got to do is I've got to restring it. And it can be a nuisance, but it has to be done. So all I do is I'm not putting on a new string. Is I put my foot down there, pull the bow. There you go. I will now take the string off the bottom and I'll wind him up a little bit. That's all I'm doing, is just winding the string against itself. Just a few turns, that should be okay. Clip him back on. Make sure he's in the right groove there. Now, normally, I've seen in the films and I've seen powerful men, you pull it and you push it and you can actually string it. I don't like doing that. I've had a bow snap on me when I broke the end off a bow and it broke my heart. I use a stringer. And I recommend anybody, when you restring your bow, use a stringer. It's dead easy. Put it on the grooves at the end there. Make sure you've got the extra grooves in the nock. Step on the string. Pull the bow up. There is no stress on the bow. Oh, will you look at that? Yeah, just above the fist melt, but that'll come down. These bows are quite incredible. Now, this one's been repaired and repaired. This is, I think, my second bow from Don Adams. Who I understand not very well at the moment, so I wish him well. This bow now, best part of 30 years, I've been shooting it, but I've got another one of Don Adams's, and it's a monster. So I'm 5'10", so let's put that bow at my toe, and you'll see it's a couple of foot taller than me. It's over 7 foot long, and that makes it a bit of an interesting bow, because you can get a longer draw. Now this was, when I first had it, 96 pound draw weight. It was just too big, too heavy to shoot the way I used to shoot at Warwick Castle. And in fact, you know, as I'm an old man now, and I need to be able to enjoy my shooting. So the reason I brought him out is he is such a lovely piece of yew. The wood for these, the staves for these war bows, yew is the best. Look at that. It is lovely. Lots of blemishes, lots of marks. Just a very simple mark to where the arrow actually rests. Nothing else. So you've got the heartwood and the sapwood. As you bring him back, that hardwood, he doesn't like it. And the sapwood being stretched over, they want to go back to being a stick. And look, after all those years, this one I think is about 20, 25 years old. Look how straight it's become. You use ash, for instance. No problems with ash bows. I've made a few for friends recently. An ash bow, great fun. Nice, easy to shoot. The problem with them, if you shoot them too often, is they what call string follow. They stay in the shape of the bow. With these yew bows, they go back to being a stick. And that's just it. As you release that arrow, the bow flexes forward, really has the power. So on each end of this bow, you will see we have the horn nocks. Now, the horn has been bored out, so it's a socket that fits over the bow, and there you have an extra groove for the stringer. Same at the other end. This is nice the way this one's shaped. I think this is one I made actually, because it tells you that's the top of the bow. So let's string him. Now I haven't strung this bow for a few weeks, so let's have a look at the condition of the string. I've put a stringer on so I don't put any pressure on the bow. Tuck him under my toe, bring him up, loop him in. It sits nicely on the fist mel, but I can use a different draw on this bow. Because it's so big, I've reduced the power. We tested this yesterday, 24 inches, it was into 70 pound. So it's still a meaty old bow. I might fetch it down a little bit more, but to shoot him, I can actually do a low draw on this. So let's have a go. I can draw under the chin, under here. Now I've surrounded the target. Let's see if I can pin the beggar. Well, I've wiped the smile off his face. Got the man behind him. Looks like I'm going to have to finish him off with the dagger. So that's the bow. Now the bowstring, these are modern bowstrings that I use nowadays. I have made linen strings in the past. They stretch. I don't know what we're doing wrong. There's none left from the old days to show us what we're doing wrong. So these are modern. These B50 twine is what I use. Bit of serving on there. Now I don't have anything else on the bows except a single mark. And I often get asked, well, how do you know? Well, when you practice so much as I do, you used to simply just put the arrow on at the right angle and let him go. He's gone. So it's quite simple. I know you can get knocks and different things put on, but for a straightforward bowman, medieval style, some people think I was in the medieval times. I know I'm old, but not that old. It's just a straightforward thing. So the string, you've got serving here. This is to protect the bowstring from your fingers. Because if you look, you've got to protect your fingers from the bowstring. If you don't, they'll rip apart. Just look at the state of this glove. I think this is the third layer I've put on it, and you can see how those sharp fletchings literally rip through the glove. My braces underneath there. So it's all very simple. It was described to me one day as 2 sticks and a bit of string. Well, I suppose it is. There's 1 stick. Here's another one. But you have a look at this. So this is a poplar arrow shaft. It's got a heavy bodkin on the end, but I used to use ash arrows, very expensive, quite heavy. I like these poplar arrows. They're nice and they bend just enough. Well, you've seen them, and all the arrows I'm shooting at the moment, I've got these heavy bodkin tips. So you have a steel tip. You have a nice, these are parallel shafts, in other words, they are even all the way down. Some arrows are barreled at the end, thicker here, or some taper up. These straightforward arrow shafts. But look at the fletchings. These are off the goose. Full length. They are glued on and they are tied on. And if you look through the end, there's just a thin sliver of bone through the nock. And that stops the bowstring simply slicing the arrow in half. Now the guy who makes the bow, he's the bowyer. The guy who makes the arrow is an arrowsmith or a fletcher. The guy who shoots the bow is an absolute killer. Got him. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, like, share and subscribe. And if you'd like to support the channel further, why not have a look at joining our Patreon community? The link is in the description. But before I go any further, quick shout out to some of my Patreon members. Brian Hernandez. Hey Brian, thanks a million for the arrows that you sent. They work. They know where the target is. Nothing to do with me. They just go in the right direction. And here we have Shiloh Harrington and Emily Rowerdink. Hey guys, thanks a million. Bye for now.